It's time for the O2 CR. Got a new front tire, new set of wheel bearings. So we've went ahead and removed the caliper. It's out of the way. We're gonna change the pads. You can look for that in the brake video. I'll put a link to it. But we're gonna break the nut free and then loosen all our bolts so we can get this tire off the axle. We're gonna take the bolts right out. You don't have to, but we're gonna clean them up. We'll just get our rubber mallet, give her a tap, pull out the axle. She's got fresh grease on her. My buddy had this out not too long ago. I don't know what he did, other than make a mess. Again, when we take out the axle, we'll put our spacers on the way they came. That way we don't screw it up. So we're gonna change our fork guards as well now while we have the tire off, because this little bugger on both sides is really hard to get with the tire in the way. Ooh, look at that mess. Let's face it, I don't think this bike's ever been cleaned properly. Ugh. So I don't know if you guys have seen these or the little slipper things that you put in there, but you pull your dust seal down and then you can go up in and clean the gunk out. So we're gonna do that. You just need a little flat screwdriver. You just need to get up under the dust seal. Gentle. So I can show you guys. I better show you on this side. You can just get in there and pry it down. Yeah, work your way around, get that dust seal down. There's gonna be a little bit of oil because I guarantee these seals have never been cleaned. Well, this guy had it. They're not leaking. So it just clips on. And then you can just simply run it up. And it pulls all the gunk out. Look at the gunk coming out of there. Just push it back up in. Time to get this front tire off. First thing, pull the valve stem. This thing feels like it's got 1,000 pounds of pressure in it. We'll see. Oh, not bad. Just a really hard tire. Not Dunlop tire on the front. Alright, we'll just push it off the bead. Sometimes you can do it by hand. You just push down and get it off the bead. If not, tuck your spoon in, push down. Let's see if I can show you guys. We're just tucking it in, pushing down. Tucking it in, pushing down. Tucking it in, pushing down. All right, so rim lock here. There. All right. Pull the nut on the valve stem. We'll loosen the rim lock. We're not going to take it all the way off. So we just back the rim lock out all the way, get the threads right to the end so that we can push it in. And then it's a little springy because of the tube and everything else. We'll flip it over and break the bead on the other side. See if we can do it with hand. Yep. Sometimes fronts you can get lucky. Just save that step. Because when you're changing the tire, you want the tire to be able to get down in this area, the hump there. That hump, you can push the tire down in, helps you change it from the other side. We're gonna start on the other side so we can use the disc to help us hold our spoons. One thing I like to do is some Windex. Just give us a little bit of lubricant for our spoons. Get it down in. Windex is cheap, doesn't have to be the brand name. We jam our spoon in, we're gonna put the rim lock. Get one in there. One on this side. Get that tire pushed down in. You can see it's giving me more to play with here. And then it'll peel up over the rim. Stand this way so you guys can see. Take our third spoon. We use the Motion Pros. They work really good. Nice spoony ones. They're rounded. I like them. A buddy of mine gave them to me and I bought more. Getting her in there about 2 inches apart. Put her down. I think I leave that one in to help me hold it. All right, so we got the one side off. We're gonna flip it over now. Get her down into the other side. We're gonna start at the rim lock. Now there's nothing to connect it to hook it under it. So there's not as much pressure once you do the other side. That's why we leave this one till last. You can basically do it by hand. Some guys don't peel this one all the way off. I've seen that before. I've tried it, doesn't work for me. So I peel it all the way over. This side, see how I'm pushing down? Just pushing it under just like that. And try and do it so I can show you. But normally you just push it down. And then it pops right off. A little tricky because I'm trying to show you guys, but no big deal. Nice, this rim's still got the rubber on there. Doesn't have the duct tape. If you guys end up taking your tire off and it doesn't have the rubber band, that's okay. This one still does, so we're good. But you could put Gorilla Tape on here. I've done it. I've done it lots. And I show it on my my rear tire video. So don't be discouraged if you rip it. You know what I mean? You can use Gorilla Tape. The bands are nice. They're just, for me, they're hard to get. So whoever put this tire on last didn't put baby powder in the tube. And this tube is stuck to the tire. Like it's like glued in. I can't even get it out. Hang on, let's see what I can do. It's like I'm ripping it out of the tire. That's bad. You don't want that. I'm surprised. That's a good tube. Pieces of tire all coming off on the tube. But geez, whoever made this tube, this is a Dunlop tube or something? It's a heavy tube. I don't see any writing on it. That's too bad. Because whoever company this was, I want more. They went through that. Wow. That's a good tube. Baby powder, no name, unscented, cornstarch baby powder. All right. We just roll it around, get it inside. And that baby powder, well, that's what prevents that tube from sticking. You know, you won't wreck your tube with it in there. What I want to show you is the little yellow dot. So that little yellow dot is where your valve stem should be, because the tire has a different weight to it. You know, when they balance the tire, they know that that's the spot when they build them. So that's where the valve stem should be. Another thing with this front tire, I'm gonna bring it over here. Right here, I don't know if you guys can see it. All right. It's directional. So this tire needs to go this way when it spins, right? So make sure you put that on properly. Zoom out. So the rim on the router side, this tire spins this way. So we're going the right way. Now we just need to put our tube in, align the valve stem with there, and then put the valve stem in the hole. Now's a good time to put the center of your valve stem back into the valve stem itself. The core. Do a little tool, tighten it up. If you don't have one of these, you know, Amazon, there's a million different styles, whatever one you like. Right. We're going to shove our tire in. Keep that close to that yellow dot. With that baby powder in there, you know, we're able to move it a little bit. Guys, we got some sort of new tire paste. We thought we'd try it out because I've seen other guys using it. I've always just used the Lindex, mostly because that's what I've always had. But this stuff was on Amazon. It was really cheap. If anybody's curious, I guess if you are, leave a comment and I'll link it in the description. But it was cheap, and it's supposed to be like the greatest thing ever, you know. We'll see. So the guy in the video that I saw, he wiped it on with a sponge, and I said, hey, that's a good idea. We'll try it. So we'll put some on that side. We'll put some on this side. It looks like it's gonna last me 2 lifetimes. I got so much of it. You know, putting it on. Good, let's try that. All right, back to our direction the right way. Find a valve stem hole. We're gonna line up the valve stem. Get our nut ready. We're gonna thread our nut back on. All right. We're just gonna thread it on a couple threads. Just enough so it won't fall off. And then, we're gonna try and get this tire on. The biggest thing is being able to get your tire into that groove, that hump, right? So we've got half the tire up in there, and now we're gonna work our way around, putting it on the rim. Get our tire under, there we go. Halfway done. Now we've got to deal with this rim lock. You can see it. It's not sitting right. Like to pry it past the rim lock. Get the rim lock to stay in. Come on. There we go. Up and over. Push the rim lock in. Pull our tool out. This side's on. Ready to be beaten. Go back to the other side. But this tire paste is a world of difference, really. You know, front tires are easier than rear tires, that's for sure. You know, but man, we're just smoothing right along. It's not as warm out today, so it's still hot. Bring it on. That's it. I'm gonna fill this tire with air and seat that bead. Now that lubricant, man, it really helped with seating the bead. A lot better than the Windex did, that's for sure. So now that everything's seated, we're gonna tighten up our rim lock. Zero our gauge. I like 13.5 pounds for where I ride, so 13.5. We're gonna change these front wheel bearings. I've already put the bearings in the freezer to shrink them up to help the install. We gotta get the dust seal out and get the old ones out of it. So I just usually use a screwdriver. Pop that dust seal out, that one flying. I like to use some of the penetrating lube. Just spray a little bit in there in case they're rusted in. They usually are. Let her sit while I get my blind bearing puller ready. You get a whole kit when you buy them, which is handy. That one looks about right. Yeah, so it simply fits down inside and it locks in just under the bearing on the bearing collar. You tighten it up. If you have a crescent wrench, you don't need an 1/16 wrench, just an adjustable wrench or something that'll hold it. And then you just tighten it up, snug to the inside of the bearing. Put in the slide hammer. We've got ours pretty crooked in there, but it's tight. And then we're gonna give her a whack and hopefully she comes out. Oh yeah, right out. The whole shaft and everything. Perfect. And then, not horrible, but it's definitely crunchy. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's like hard spots. Tick, 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 tick. Oh, good. Right out. That was pretty simple. We got an all balls kit. Fresh out of the freezer. You can see them frosting up pretty good. That's the grease we use. It's whatever we bought. It's pretty good. I like it. Get some grease on the end of our brush. We're gonna brush the inside of this area here. Where the bearing goes, we're gonna flip the tire and do the same on the other side. We have 2 bearings in the kit and 2 seals. They're identical, so we don't need to worry about what one we put in what side. Now the rear has 2 on one side, but the front only gets 1 per side. We should be able to push it in most of the way because it's been in the freezer for a while. It's down on there. But we have a little tool we use. I don't remember where I bought the kit, but it comes with every different size you could ever want to drive bearings and seals in. Yeah, it's drove all the way down. Nice and easy, just like that. Do not forget this piece. Drop her in. Perfect. Get our other bearing. Drop it in. I can pretty much push it down by hand. Good and shrunk. We'll just set her in. You'll hear it change. There, it's down all the way. You can feel it, you can hear it. Like an audible sound. Now the seal. All right guys, when we're dealing with the seals, this side of the seal goes out, this side of the seal goes in. You can see there's a spring in there. We want to pack this side full of grease, always. We just push this in by hand usually. You can't get it all the way down. This one is, but you can put your driver on. Just push it in. I wouldn't suggest beating on it with a hammer. That's it. Now's the time to put the wheel spacers in. Got the new bearings in, got everything. Here's the wheel spacer. This one goes on this side. This one's the one for the disc. Really important to make sure you get the right wheel spacer on the right side. All right, we're gonna grease up the axle a little bit. Get a little bit of grease on our hands. I'm just gonna grease it up. Help it slide through the front hub. The front wheels always suck. It's better if you got somebody to help you. I don't today. It's not impossible, it's just a pain. Sometimes, you know, the handlebars spin and you don't want to go the way you want it to. There we go. Sort it in. Yeah, we're just going to put our bolts in finger tight. I'm going to drive this in with our rubber mount. Should be flush. I'm going to thread our nut on hand tight. It says 14 pounds in the book. It's not much at all. Now our front axle nut is 65 foot-pounds. So the front tire's done, the bearings are in, you know, the front end's really coming back together. Anyway, hopefully you guys are really liking the videos, and if you are, like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.